Hello. It's been a while since I made a video, but I'm trying to get back into slow chess online and in person. Been very busy lately, so slow going, but played a game today and I'd like to share that with you. I had a Caro-Kann, advanced Caro-Kann, so this e-pawn pushes forward. We're going to get our bishop out, we're going to close the door, and we're going to develop like so. You'll see. I'm not going to focus too much on the opening. Opponent continues bishop d3. We trade and then we close the door. So that's pretty standard. And at this point here, we have a lot of ways to continue. We could come out with the check. We could push c5, making room for that knight. We could go out here, preparing c5. That's going to be kind of a theme for our advanced Caro. We want to get this pawn to be attacking the center, giving us some space. But I usually just continue knight d7 to support that square for when we want to push c5. Opponent continues attacking the queen. This kind of allows black to just play a useful move anyways. My cat is attacking a piece of paper. Oh, come here, you. So this lets us get out to b6 with our queen and hit that b2 pawn. So queen b6, pressuring the pawn. Now this was kind of played a little quick, I'll be honest, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. He comes all the way back, which, nice for me. It's a little clunky for black, undeveloping. We're just going to push c5, c3. So backing up this pawn here, plenty of backup. And knight e7. So a couple options here. We can go to f5 or we can go to c6 to really pressure white's center. This is a good option. It's not what I did. You could also play it out to g6 too, to kind of pressure this way, but I usually aim for one of these two squares, and the long-term plan is to destabilize this center and then go after it, if that makes sense. All right, this seems like an okay move, but it hangs b2, and that's the cat again. I just completely missed this. I mean, I can just take here. This is good for black, and you want to be careful though, because it looks like you want a rook here, and I think this is subconsciously the reason I didn't capture. Allowing white to get all that development, for instance, and perhaps trap the queen with something like this. Kind of gross. I don't like that. I don't see an easy way to get out of this. So you'd end up doing something like that, and that's not fun. So I think I didn't take on b2 in lieu of something like that. I've had it happen to me before, so I think I've just stopped taking on b2. But there are times where it could work. I didn't spend the brain power to calculate because I'm still in the opening. I'm gonna get my king out of the center, etc. Certainly an option though, but sometimes you just miss that kind of stuff, right? So like I said before, sometimes we bring our knight here, sometimes we bring our knight to c6. In this case, knight on c6. Kind of a strange move. Of course, he's defending the pawn, but this is going to kind of weaken everything else. So let's just continue by clarifying the center, and look at this lovely diagonal check. So now when I look at this, and at this point I was thinking this is a weak spot, right? Because this pawn is not on b2, so this guy is weak. The queen is here defending, but we can continue to attack that knight. So rook c8, kind of building up some action here, maybe get the queen involved. But let's see what our opponent did. Castles, getting out of the pin, very smart. in castles. Apparently, apparently I missed something, but you know, that's okay. So incredibly, we can take tactics, right? And if he takes back, well, we can take with the rook. But I missed it. So these things happen. These things happen. But castles, you know, never usually a terrible move. So I'm fine with that. You know, I can live with that. So let's take a look here. Knight g5. I wonder what he's going for. Checkmate, right? So let's stop checkmate. That's generally a list of, on the list of recommended actions, you stop checkmate. So let's do that. Let's stop these from working together. And okay, knight moving out of the way, possibly coming here to g3. How do we continue? Well, first, I'm going to hit this knight. I don't like it. I don't like that knight. So he moves, which honestly surprised me, because if you ask me, you know, is my knight better here or there? I'm going to say on g5. Plus, you know, dark squares are weaker here. I would say keep the knight there, but you know what? He retreats, and fine. So now I'm going to make some knight moves of my own. I've got my eye on this lovely square and this kind of fork here. So let's see what happens. Probably best move, go back, just defend. However, terrible blunder. Queen to b1 just gives up the rook, gives up the exchange rather. I mean, you know, he's going to get some material, but we're going to get that rook. Opponent counterattacks here. It's simple. We just get out of the way. And after this, we're good. We're up material. Makes me happy. This was a 30-minute game, by the way. You should know that. So we capture the bishop. Knight captures, and now we've got this 2 knights and a rook versus 2 rooks and a knight. Really juicy square for the rook. I'm going to back it up, and it's going to be real happy on the second rank there. Okay, h4, signaling this attack here to continue kind of cracking open this king side. I want to double attack every single thing I can find. For instance, when he moves the knight, I can, at least I thought, I could bring my rook up. What I neglected to notice is that once that knight goes to g3, it's actually defending the rook. So you'll see that here, which is why it's a mistake. Queen runs away, and kind of my best option is to exchange. And then I'm realizing, okay, I have a double attack opportunity on this knight with the rook all the way up to c1. But what I noticed is this square is ripe for a sacrifice. And I've seen this sacrifice over the board many times. I kind of knew that it was coming, and I didn't calculate because I figured he would do it. But now that I'm going over the game, I'm wondering maybe just rook c1 immediately, it was better. Because after h6, he's already, it's not forcing him to do anything. He's already going to capture. And here I made another mistake because I don't have to take it. You don't have to take that. It's not a forcing. It's not a forced sacrifice. And if we do take that, well, now my king is very open. You know, after this, you know, these squares here become prime squares to check the king. I had a game in the Armed Forces Championship where my opponent sacrificed on e6 and ran my king everywhere, and I retreated to the wrong square. So this time I wanted to make sure that I did it correctly. As previously stated, I can just go here, and he's pretty demolished there. He's going to lose it. But, you know, it's natural to just take back. So I did. and I accepted the fact that I would be getting this check, and that was a mistake because this is just a forced draw, I think. But I don't think my opponent. So in the game, I went to h8. I don't think my opponent found the right idea here, because what he needs is to get rid of this knight, because I've got all this covered. I've got this covered, that covered, right? So he really wants access to this square to force that draw. So he needs to play e6, e6, and now you see once that once the knight moves, this is just pretty clear. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's pretty clear, just a perpetual. Thank goodness he didn't find that. Instead, he played knight g3, which allows me to play the correct move, which I didn't play. Now, oddly enough, here, if he tries the same thing here, this is not going to work anymore. Because look, so it's a very strange difference. Because look, the pawn's not on e6, so this square is not supported. So there's no perpetual, and our knight is awkwardly defending every single thing it needs to. So a lot of detail there. I actually moved my queen back, thinking that this was preventing something. I can't really explain it, to be completely honest. But I thought it was the safe move. He can just do the same thing here, and I have to play knight f8, and now he's got the same thing. So that doesn't work. So I completely messed that up. Instead, he plays h5, which, okay, at this point I'm thinking, all right, he wants to eliminate this pawn, get this square for the knight, which makes sense. He wants to coordinate on that g7 square, so okay. Now at this point, my brain clocked in, and I was like, okay, knight f8. Watching here, watching there, and after this, I think we're fine either way. But I took with the queen, and now this is open. This is kind of a threat for him. He's not going to have very many places to hide. So after he takes on b7, we just start the checks, and he blocks, right? Which makes sense. Now we have to be careful and accurate. We have to double attack the knight, understanding that our threat is more powerful than his. So sometimes you make a threat, and then your opponent makes a threat. Whoever's threat is more immediate, it's going to be the first one, right? So you got to understand that. I'm surprised he actually captured here. I thought he was just going to go straight for queen f7. Because no matter what, this is going to get taken. So king runs, and we're in chase here. Rook check on c3, and now we have to kind of get this king down here. So I was a little surprised by his choices in, running away, because I thought, maybe just king h3 and we repeat, and that's uncomfortable because the queen's going to f7. So where can I go, really? I suppose I can go here and threaten that. Does he have that defending? Does that work? Then queen e1, and then it's kind of very difficult at that point. It's really difficult for him. That's a little better. Without the cover, that's a little better, but I didn't go into all that. So I go back hoping for this connection here to push the pawn. And this looks like a solid move that kind of forces the issue, but it just allows me to take with check. And this is just unstoppable here. It's unstoppable. There's so many moves you can play there. You can play there. You can do that. I mean, you could do so many things. I chose this. It was the most straightforward in my brain stem area up there, you know. And you know, the game's over. So overall, a pretty good game, but not a perfect game. I think it was like an 80%, and you know, but for not having played slow in a while, I'm fine with it. So hopefully you enjoyed that game. Hopefully you got something out of it. Kind of a ramble, I know, but hey, I'm just a guy in a tomato shirt. So join us on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Time on chess.com for some chess. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Go eat some dinner, etc. You know, be with the cats. So keep calm, chess on. Take care.